So I'm trying out this Toro, and it's interesting. It's Toro is pretty powerful. You'll see in the second part of this video that the housing will stop it from going deep. So you have to work your way from the cutting face forward. Except for I ran across a piece of wood that was really just every time that it would hit it, it would move out of the way. This density part of this pine tree, not this one, the next one. And so I just had to kept coming at it different ways from behind it, alongside of it, just trying to get this grain to break up. It was quite the challenge. I've used a machine like this years ago, just like this one, and now I'm using this machine now to break up some. So I don't care about the teeth. The teeth are, it's moving some ground here, moving some dirt out of the way. I did have someone dig around here and clear it out to some degree after round 2 of this stump. This goes below where you're seeing the ground, below the lowest part of the ground here, which is right in front of the wheel, the cutting wheel. I go down about another 6 inches. And so this is just the top decorative part where dirt was around the stump, if you will. And again, this is the harder blade. This is the green blade, I believe, the green teeth, so they can take a dirt like this. It's not an issue. There's no rock and there's dirt. Did burn some pallets over top of the stump, so there are some nails. You'll see me stop at one point, and that's what I'm doing. I'm picking up some nails that the magnet didn't find. The next part of the video, that will be a stump that just really worked me over as far as the center part. It was interesting. Now, if I use a different, I think a red has more cutting. The red teeth have more cutting ability. This is more, it doesn't have that quite ability. Plus, the way the grain structure was, every time I hit it, it would move out of the way, even at high speed. So I try to slow it down and break the grain, then come from the side. So don't think I'm using the machine wrongly. I'm just trying to get it to work, to do some work, cut away the material on the next stump. Okay, here we go. So right here, this stump, the center, the center of it. The outside is pretty easy to chip right away. The center of this tree is the density is such that it bounces the tool around a lot rather than the cutting edge, the cutting, rather than let it come free. So I've tried to come at it from the top, from behind it, force from the face. Take note of the housing. The housing will stop my depth. So you see me going left, right. I'm hitting the housing. I know that. But I'm moving material away as best I can. If anybody has ever cut wood before, not trees, you know that you curve cut and then you take away what's left between the curves is one of the best ways to do it. Not treating it like a dado blade and just going left to right. You'll get, if you do some curves, what's left, the remaining part of the curve, is much weaker and just flings away. And that's the same thing I find out with this stump grinding. Here we go. This is a purchase from Home Depot. You pause the video or stop and re-record in a moment. So here I am explaining to you what I was doing there. That section right there, it moves out of the way of the cutting blade pretty much. If it stayed still, the cutting blade would be able to knock it down. But it's so flexible that it's doing that. So I changed the RPMs. I came at it from the front, the side, and I did get it down. But even just staying in one spot, it just burns the wood. It was quite a interesting little section. So again, you may think that I'm using it wrongly. I am not. That just would not move away. And again, look at the housing. So if any of you guys rent one of these, the housing to the left is going to be your limit. But I came at it every angle. It just happens to be that was a perfectly round section of growth, grain growth. So every angle equaled the same thing. I mean, it's like it's perfectly, the grain thicknesses, everything about it was just a perfect, 20 years or 30 years, whatever the grain growths were, that were just so consistent. And it could consistently bounce the machine around. Everything to the left, it was a cakewalk. In hindsight, I finished it, so I can tell you, of course I can't tell you looking at the video here, but you guys looking at it, but I've already completed it. Everything to the left, everything to the right of that circle, cakewalk. Center circle, my gosh. Very interesting. So that's me trying to come at it from behind. And that was pretty effective to some degree. And then it hit that a more dense part, so I was able to take out some of the rings, but no. Nope. Very slow and go. Slow and going there. Mostly you're looking at your chips, and you can see my chips were not of the caliper that I would prefer, or you would prefer. You want chips that just come on out of there. Just knock those chips out. Break that wood apart. I started getting some sawdust on top of the on that section. That means I'm not really going anywhere, doesn't it? All right, enjoy. Take care. So I'm going to go ahead and terminate the video here. You won't see the rest of it. It's already 8 minutes long. Just so you know what you're dealing with if you rent one. The left handle locks. That's what I just did with my hand. It unlocks it. If you lock it, it allows you to pivot much better. So make sure to lock it. If you don't lock it, you're going to be getting pulled around, jerked around. And I actually have some music playing on my headphones, so I'm working to a different tune here, moving to a different beat. Some of it's just playing, some of my actions with the machine are actually playing with music. Alright, take care. Dancing with the music.